What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Justice Falls. We back at another video, and today we're looking at Cyberpunk 2077 Night City Wire episode 5. Now, yesterday, I did the Night City Wire special, and they said they were coming out with part 5 the next day. They live streaming on Twitch. I did not catch a live stream. I was busy, but they always upload on YouTube hours later. So here we go. So if you didn't see it, you can see it now. City. That song is stuck in my head. Hearing every video.
Hello and welcome to.
There goes Holly B, the baddie.
The show from us at
Hey Holly.
Red, where we talk
And she
about
switched it
all
up on
things
us again.
Cyberpunk
She's serving looks, hunty.
Now we're going to start
looks.
today's episode with a new trailer that will take a closer look at Johnny Silverhand.
I think this is the gameplay trailer. I think I probably already saw this earlier.
And have a chat to English adaptation director Boris, who will tell us exactly what it was like to work with him. Then we'll be exploring the original score and talking about some of the radio stations you might listen to while driving around Night City. Before we take a look at the
shenanigans
technology, which is powering facial
and her nails
animation
did
in
stop playing with her, yo. She's fine.
and unveil a new My Reward scheme
I'm gonna hit the
which anyone
DM.
can take part
She
in,
was good.
no matter which platform you'll be playing Cyberpunk on. We'll then wrap up today's episode with a brand new gameplay trailer. It's a busy episode, and it will be our final episode of Night City Wire
Before the
game
release.
launches on December 10th. So, let's get going.
That's why it's 30 minutes. Okay, so we're in for a long one today, fellas. Pause. So, the gameplay trailers, I think I already seen a couple of them, but for those of you that didn't, we'll watch them together.
How are we even talking? Gotta get out of here, understand? And I'll kill anyone who gets in my way.
I think this is the band We Are Samurai,
You weren't dreaming, B. Those were memories.
or maybe not.
You two are connected in a way I can't make head or tail of.
Yeah, that was the band. There you go.
In who, Vic? Silverhand.
Johnny Silverhand. Real talk of the town back in my day.
Looks like you get to you'll get to play him at some point.
An actual terrorist in my head. Right now.
He'd burn down half the city just to prove he was right. And burn the other half just for fun.
What do you want from me? Destroy Arasaka. I don't even know what that means. Do whatever it takes to stop him, defeat him, gut him.
He already tried to take over your body. You know, just for a little while.
Hear me, asshole?
That's gonna be an internal battle, an internal war. You gotta stop Johnny Silverhand from taking over your mind, because it's like a chip you steal from the corpos,
Don't have much time left.
and it has him on it. He's on the chip. Only way to keep the chip safe is to put it into your head. So now you got the Johnny Silverhand guy in your head,
Maybe we'll fit together after all.
and he takes over your body because he has his own agenda. So that's going to be fire.
Sometimes we like to share things with you, and other times we like to keep secrets, and it can be worth it for that big reveal. Pretty sure nobody was expecting to see Keanu Reeves on stage at E3 2019.
No, you're amazing.
Let's go behind the scenes to see how Keanu Reeves brought rocker boy Johnny Silverhand to life. You could say it's breathtaking.
I should just watch this first, because I just watched all these videos separately.
Opportunity to do voiceover a few times. I'd worked on a cartoon. I had done some documentaries. I'd never done this much.
You know you don't gotta speak out loud to talk to me. And I've processed some shit. Changed my mind. Don't want you dead anymore.
You know, and got to play a character in so many kind of different ways because of different
Got the
paths
Pro
or
Tools going.
paths or choices. So you almost get to play one moment, say you have a decision
Would you take a bullet for me?
with 3 different behavioral attitudes. So that was fun. You know, Johnny's either a dick, or he's happy, or he's trying to convince.
Know why? Because you've always been a fucking pussy, Gary.
So it's been
Oh, nah,
fun.
he ain't
and
gonna talk
was
to me
kind
like
of what
that.
I was interested in, you know, the different options that the game could play. you know, playing the same person but with different versions of them.
Yes, you got to do this. You got to answer the same question with different lines,
So one of the first
different emotions.
that I was involved in with the game was
Oh, you know he's the
motion
god at the
capture.
motion capture from the Matrix.
I've done a fair bit of motion capture. I did it with in the Matrix films. So to start doing the motion capture for Johnny, it was all very familiar to me. The only difference, I think, technologically was how close they were going to real-time review. But creatively, it was very familiar in the sense of starting a library of gesture. And
You got to get every move, every movement as much as close as possible as you can get it. This guy doesn't age. He looks the same. He looks, without the beard, he looks even younger.
About his military past, you know, and he's fighting for his survival. So he's kind of got all of these things leading into the moment of this guy. It's really a kind of an interpretation, because I think there's a Johnny Silverhand in all of us. He's got a lot of energy. He's got a good sense of humor, if not a little dark at times. He's very passionate. He cares. You know, it's he's kind of naive, but he's also super experienced in life.
He's really into the character. You could tell, you know, how much detail he's given to the character.
He
So
wants to change the world.
we know he's gonna put on a good performance.
He has a cause that he wants to fight against the corpocracy.
Come on. Don't tell me you're not interested.
He's kind of looking for a different kind of freedom.
Corps have long controlled our lives, taken lots. And now they're after our souls.
At least I believed in something bigger. At least I had a cause.
He meant that.
What CD Projekt Red has shared with me in the way that they talk about the game and what I've seen is that it's got a lot of freedom. There's so many different paths that you can play the game on.
Yeah, this is guy from IGN. He got 16 hours with it, and he was just like, there's so many branching paths.
If I gotta kill, I'll kill. If I need your body, I'll fucking take it.
You can go into action, you can go into mystery, you can problem solve in different ways. And where you go in this world, there's so much detail, there's so many different things that you can go off into that are really interesting and fun.
It's cool.
There's a real drama to the game and emotional stakes to it. And then there's lighter sides to it. And of course the music, production design,
he naked.
technologically, how cutting edge it is. I don't think there'll be a game that looks like this. Yeah, it's intense.
All right, I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, it won't look this way in terms of like aesthetic and design, maybe. But then again, I feel like a lot of games is coming out with that cyberpunk type of vibe, but this will be the forerunner for it. Well, that's what I think.
Before we get into what it was like to actually work with Keanu Reeves, was it always him that you imagined as Johnny Silverhand? Was there anybody else that you ever considered having?
Probably not.
Yeah, Holly, it was a long, arduous, extended process to imagine what Johnny Silverhand is supposed to look like, what he's supposed to sound like, what he's supposed to act like. Everybody and their
Can't go wrong with Keanu,
grandmother
though.
seemed to have an idea. And the process actually involved a lot of people. The game director, character artists, writers, marketing staff. I could go on. You know, we cast a pretty broad net initially. We considered actors. We considered enlisting actual rock stars, you know, band frontmen to play.
Okay.
At one point, we
That was
toyed
cool.
with the idea of taking and reviving a recently deceased, longtime luminary of the recording industry. Now, some might say that it was a pipe dream to assume that we could do that technologically or otherwise. Well, I'll see you that pipe dream and raise you another, because one could easily say that it was a pipe dream to assume that we could successfully pitch to and ultimately enlist Keanu Reeves to play the role.
I mean, not really. He's a
Now,
pretty
I'm
down to
sure
earth
this
guy.
isn't everybody's mind
He
right now, but what
he's
was it
down to
actually
do pretty
like
much
to
anything
work
as
with
long as
Keanu
it's
Reeves?
legit
'Cause
and
even he
it's.
said in the video, this was like nothing he'd ever done before.
A question that I'm sure anybody who gets to work with Keanu has to answer, and I get where it comes from. Keanu is a consummate professional. When he's at work,
Absolutely.
he's at work. He's completely and utterly focused. To that work, he brings his talent, he brings his art, his technical skill, and overwhelming charm. And yes, the scale and the complexity were and are dazzling. Non-linearities, the variation in attitude, mood, emotion that are required to achieve them, they can be difficult to get your head around. And if you take all of Johnny Silverhand's bits, his screen time, it's like doing the equivalent of many, many feature film roles put together. And we covered all that.
Yeah, people got to realize video game acting, there's a lot that goes into it. You can't just come off the street and do that.
Hours each. And that took focus, it took control, it took dedication, all of which Keanu provided in heaps.
So tell us a little bit more about the character of Johnny Silverhand and why he's important to the story, but also why it's important to have him played by such a powerful personality.
Okay, how do I do this without spoiling too much for gamers? In the broadest sense, I'd say Johnny Silverhand is a co-protagonist of the game rather than a sidekick. I mean, there are buddy bits in the game, but in the end, Johnny has an agenda and he pursues it, and V has an agenda and has to pursue that. And to get things done,
you just popping pills, getting surgeries. This game gonna be wicked.
Some of the things they do are V's, and some of the things they do are Johnny's, and some of them are important to both of them. That bonds gamers, I think, to both characters. Both characters' agendas.
So I guess there'll be side quests that have to be more Johnny stuff,
continued existence,
and then there'll be main stuff, main character missions where
a gamer
for V.
or viewer or reader. What you have to do is create that bond between them and the protagonist or protagonists. You have to make those characters understandable to them, likable to them, lovable to them. With that understanding, even when they do something not entirely admirable or say something reprehensible, you stay committed, you stay involved, you stay bonded to them. There's no denying casting a powerful personality, somebody who exudes charm by the truckload, helps to further all that.
So Boris, can you tell us, what does Keanu bring to Johnny Silverhand?
What Keanu brings to Johnny Silverhand is nothing more and nothing less than Keanu. I could parse that into a string of adjectives, but I kind of think that would be borderline insulting because it wouldn't begin to do him justice.
Wouldn't begin to explain,
applicable movies.
Who he is.
Neo is Keanu, Keanu is Neo. John Wick is Keanu, Keanu is John Wick. John Constantine, Johnny Mnemonic, Jonathan Harker, Johnny Utah, they're all Keanu. And to anyone who will play Cyberpunk 2077, Johnny Silverhand
is Keanu Reeves.
To my mind, at least, star power is a fact and an important factor for broad sections of the audience out there.
So can you give us more information about the process of motion capture, right? Because we saw you in the video, doing some of it, but really, how does it work?
I wish I could, Holly, but I'm really no mocap expert, and I can basically tell you what the day looked like, what the process looked like to me. To me, it was a fine day in LA, and I put on a wonky-looking bodysuit with globules all over it, and I put on.
He didn't want to say balls. See, that's a good adjective though. Globules. I never heard of that one. My vocabulary is pretty good.
We did it over and over and over again. As we did that, I must have poked Johnny in the chest hundreds of times, and I must have yelled "fuck off" at Johnny 35 times. And
that's amazing.
Well, I never expected to be doing any of that. No, I never imagined.
Never imagined that you'd be doing any of that stuff.
Well, Boris, thank you so much for joining us.
My phone going off.
The studio is quite iconic. So whenever I talk to you, I feel like I'm in a trailer. It's amazing.
It's not all that. It's not all that, Holly. Thank you.
There we go.
Well, from Soviet-era synthesizers to body heat radio, it's time to explore the original score and just some of the radio stations you'll be listening to when you're driving around Night City.
Let's get to some radio stations. Will this rival the GTA San Andreas
Score is the main
radio
emotions in
stations?
Movies and video games, and
that is the question.
2077 is no different.
It actually took us a long time to find the right color of the music.
Getting that sound together.
Yes,
is
music has
almost as
color, people.
important as the actual look of the game itself, because the music is really helping you feel this emotional connection.
They got
to
the
the
Pro
game.
Tools HD sessions open. That's how you know they was going in. Brought in all types of musicians and instruments. This is the part that I love, like the composition of it all, because the more than just the scenery, the characters, the music brings you into the game
Genre out of the 80s and give it
keeps
a
you in the game.
90s flair. We took elements from rave, IDM, industrial, and make them fit our narrative purposes.
We've decided that close to the 100% of our music would be purely electronic.
You got
That's
the
why we try
plasma
to
rack
stick
there,
to
that's
analog
fire.
synths as much as possible, so it's got a warmth to it.
I'm super proud of the team we've managed to gather for this project.
And my son got the
For me,
Xbox
it was
controller on
basically
deck.
my own personal aesthetic matching the aesthetic of the game. When I read the brief, I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I can be myself. I can make music, and it come from an honest place.
I love the fact that the music in this game is so varied.
who that? She's
So
fine.
we have some tracks that are super dirty, super heavy, and then we have some tracks that are very beautiful and ambient. I'm using all kinds of
This
different
looks like she has an
effects.
electric
It's
cello.
been, great to be able to experiment with the sound and the style.
Okay, we about halfway through, y'all.
It's my first time actually doing any drum tracking for a video game. It's been really exciting. It's
Island
been really fun.
Rubin. Or
It's all
Elon
about
Rubin.
making you feel like a perfect killing machine, because that's what you are basically.
Well, I can do that all day long. So you'll just have to tell me what you like, and what you don't like.
Cool. Okay. It's not going to sound like one thing, depending on what part of the city you're in.
That's what I like about it. Like,
Every quest, pretty much
depending
was
on what
custom
neighborhood you're in,
assets
the
created
music will be
specifically
different.
for that quest.
We ended up having over 7.5 hours of music in Cyberpunk.
Working on Cyberpunk has just been insane. I can seriously
Like,
say
you'll probably
I've
never
worked
hear the
on
same
Cyberpunk
thing
as
twice
mad people
until
in
you've
my life,
played for like
mad
60 hours.
The gear that we use comes out of boutique shops, or they are vintage synthesizers like this Polyvox.
I really hope all this effort put into creating this score pays off with satisfying and enjoyable listening and gaming experience.
I think you will, bro. I think you will. I got faith. As a musician and composer myself, I think you will.
Hello, Night City. What's shaking, Night City? Good morning, Night City. Your man, Stan here. Ooh, I love this town. Love it like you might love a mother who popped you out on the steps of an orphanage once and now
Oh, darn.
stops you to ask if you got a smoke for her. And now, a shout out to all the lowlifes over at the Atlantis. Ladies and gents, here's that all-time classic in Night City.
And I listened to this song earlier.
Soundtrack is one of the key
I know the
elements
soundtrack is gonna be
we use
fire.
to build believable world. We've invited artists from around the world, incredible talents, incredible musicians, to write and produce songs just for us for this project.
The soundtrack for Cyberpunk is insane. So the soundtrack being all the songs that they've got going on, whether it's on the radio or on the background, all these just amazing bands.
We've got over 150 custom genre-bending tracks, all waiting for you to discover them by
Nice.
yourselves.
You know, the reason I wanted to be a
150
part of Cyberpunk
tracks.
is- well, basically, I know The Witcher is super sick, and then I actually got to play a preview of the game, which was fucking incredible.
I've always wanted to do something connected to video
Zell
games,
Twin.
so I was
I don't know
pretty
none of these
excited
people,
when
but I
this
know their
came in.
music gonna be fire.
Yes.
I was kind of imagining what it would be like being a character in
Rat
that game.
boy.
The person that's a musician in this world and this time has grew up in that space.
'Cause I forget they out in the UK, so they're gonna get them first. I know who Run the Jewels is. More so because of Killer Mike than this guy. This guy on the left.
We want to provide you with the soundtrack to fucking shit up. Like, how can you not want to be a part of that?
Killer Mike.
For those of you who can't wait to hear more from our composers, we're going to be releasing a special 6-track Cyberpunk 2077 EP
Okay.
featuring tracks from the game's original score onto streaming services for you to enjoy for free, and they'll be live at the end of this episode, so you can give them.
Yeah, they did this on Twitch earlier, so it's already going to be up. I'm gonna look for it for y'all right now.
Want to make videos? We want to introduce you to a new mode that will allow you to disable certain copyrighted tracks. We know that for content creators, licensed music can sometimes be problematic. So
Right.
with this new mode, you'll be able to disable a small number of selected tracks which could cause some issues.
Thank
Replacing them
God.
with a different song, helping to avoid
Great
any
move
problems.
by this Project Red.
If you're going to be live streaming from console, this will start automatically, but you can toggle it on and off in the options as needed. And for PC players, you'll be able to turn it on and off in the game options.
Nice. Because I'm not trying to get my stuff taken down. That's why I haven't streamed since the first time I streamed on Twitch. Because I don't want to get my stuff taken down. I'm not going to be playing a game for 3 hours online just for it to get taken down. Like, I'm trying to get that Twitch affiliate. I'm trying to get this bread. I know a lot of YouTubers, they say they do it for the love. I do it for the love too. But at the end of the day, I want to do this for a living and replace my job. Replace my job with doing this. So I'm trying to get that bag.
I am the CEO of Jolly Research in Toronto.
And here's the soundtrack, by the way.
In this video, we're going to show you
Cyberpunk
a little
2077.
bit about Jolly the software.
You get the 6 songs.
And Jolly in action.
I don't know if y'all can see that.
Of Cyberpunk 2077.
Just type Cyberpunk 2077 soundtrack. It's like the second one. On Spotify or whatever DSP you use.
Jolly is a suite of tools and a suite of services that result in what we think is the coolest and best and highest quality facial performance on characters.
Oh. Is that supposed to sound familiar?
It's automatically generated on a face based on audio dialogue, audio speech from a voice actor.
Nice.
Your cortisol and adrenaline spiked, but the soft activated your hormone block.
Yeah, like that looks mad real. It looks like a real person in front of me. Like,
what Jolly
it's
tries
crazy.
to do is it tries to get to the root of what is being expressed in the vocal performance and put that on a 3D character.
That's Rogue. Best fixer in all of Night City.
There is just an incredible amount of performance in this game.
Sure.
A procedural solution allows you to animate over and over and over again at tremendous
That looks
scale.
mad real.
Jolly
Like,
is empowered
usually the
every
closer you get to a character,
Cyberpunk 2077.
you start seeing the imperfections. But these characters are like right in front of you, and it looks amazing.
Ahora escúchame. Este mierda de Anthony Gilchrist. ¿Es tu contacto? Hat Infos zum Konvoi durchsickern lassen?
All you're doing is changing an attribute. For example, speech style. If you wanted your character to shout instead of mumble, instead of issuing a set of commands that redo the animation, instead you click an attribute going from, in this case, mumble to shout.
But you walk, you bleed. But you walk, you bleed. But you walk, you breathe.
If the lip sync is right, you don't notice. If the faces match and match the performance, you don't notice because you're too busy paying attention to how awesome the game is, how much you care about these characters, what you're gonna do, and that's what we want. That to me is that's the sizzle.
Don't
Right.
you know you owe the sheriff a word?
They got the sizzle and the steak going.
To tell him what's brought you here. Maybe even over a cup of coffee.
All right.
Now we're excited to reveal digital and in-game rewards for Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, okay.
It's our way of
That's
saying
what I've been
thank you
wondering
for your
about.
support. Now, every copy of the game comes with digital downloadable goodies such as the art book, the original score, and
Nice.
a digital comic, all from the Cyberpunk universe. But there's more. You can also claim in-game items for Cyberpunk 2077. For example, you could be rocking the Wolf School jacket for simply connecting the game to your GOG account. And if you have other CD Projekt
who?
Red games,
GOG?
such as The Witcher or Gwent,
Somebody explain
you
that
can
in the
get
comments.
even more. And it works both ways. If you connect the game to your GOG account, you can also unlock special in-game items for Gwent, the Witcher card game, such as the samurai-inspired card and coin back, and the breathtaking title. Now, this new My Reward program is for everybody. No matter which platform you're playing Cyberpunk on, you'll be able to get your digital goodies and in-game items. Now this is just the beginning, and there'll be more items coming in the future, and we'll have more information on my rewards soon. As always, don't forget that if you've missed anything or if you just want to watch again, we will be uploading everything to our channels soon.
Yeah, like I'm kind of mad that I watched some of it already.
That new gameplay
some of the stuff.
We just want to reveal that a number of games media from all over the world have been playing Cyberpunk 2077, and
yeah, like I spoke about the guy from IGN.
Impressions when this episode of Night City Wire finishes, so you can go and check them out. So now let's wrap up this episode and take a look at that brand new gameplay trailer.
Yeah, this show was fire.
Engine's been hit. Get us out of here. I'm losing control.
I'm willing to bet this is one of the earlier missions. Colors look crazy.
We dedicate ourselves to telling immersive stories. Yet with every new project, we set out to make our games bigger, more complex, deeply engaging.
Come on, V. Let's get you home.
Cyberpunk 2077 marries exploration of a vast open world with kinetic combat, story-changing player choices, and robust character development, all to bring you into our vision of the dark future.
You ever feel like a city
the dark future?
You either burn alive in it, or you never existed at all.
The year is 2077. An economic crisis culminating in nuclear conflict has left America in pieces.
And Night City is the last salvation.
Degenerating into lawless war zones, people from all over have converged on the already overcrowded Night City, one of the world's last great megalopolises. A hub amassing the best in resources and know-how, and home to manufacturers of cutting-edge technologies. Night City continues to offer the promise of a civilized future.
What? No, this isn't happening. Oh, but it is.
But in the city's streets, a merciless struggle for power rages. Gangs, corporate agents, hustlers,
I always said, if it come down to it, and y'all gotta come my armor off, and they got that cyber technology ready, put that in me. Pause.
Looking for justice.
I'm ready.
In Night City, I seek revenge. Much more feasible here.
In this world, consumed by never-ending conflict, sometimes only an outsider will get the job done.
Elizabeth tells me you have answers for us.
Somebody with no ties.
And that's
somebody that can move in between these different organizations.
You seem to understand each other.
A mercenary, if you will.
Take this, too.
As a mercenary, you swear no
See?
allegiance.
What I'm talking about.
The outlaw life, and trust that your abilities will carry you up Night City's ruthless, underground social ladder.
Heart of Night City. That's it right there.
To thrive as a merc, you need the right combination of gear.
I know them fighting them was gonna be wild. Cause them people they don't care about they don't care about nothing.
I hope he wasn't overselling.
With the money you earn, you can turn yourself into a living weapon, buying guns and enhancements in the hundreds.
Now the guy from IGN said the menus are like kind of like muddled, like there's not any organization with it, but we'll see.
You gain the
We'll see. I'll be the judge of that. This doesn't look too bad. This doesn't look like anything else that I've haven't played that I've played before. So I mean, it doesn't look too different from anything I've played before.
Tech. Or practically anyone in between.
Oh, that's wicked. You can make somebody off themselves.
You steal a prototype biochip that can set you up for life.
Being filthy
this is what I was talking about earlier.
When its sealed container is ruptured, the only way to prevent the biochip from failing is to slot it into your head. It turns out it contains the digitized soul of Johnny Silverhand, a dead rocker boy with violence on his mind.
You mean to say there's an actual terrorist in my head right now?
He's out for revenge. Aims to bring down the megacorp that made the chip.
Do whatever it takes to stop him, defeat him, gut him.
What is in your head can shift the balance of power.
So you and Keanu
the high and mighty will do
trying to take over the world.
To lay their hands on it.
Told you I'd end you someday.
That's gonna be a wild boss fight.
The choices you make will shape your story. and determine how events unfold.
V, you gotta take him down. That's why we're here.
But not everything in Night City is a matter of life and death. Sometimes it's about style, choosing your look, your ride, your pastime, who's at your side. Choosing how you spend your
you could.
money.
That could be your shorty. Like, I guess if you were male or female, like, you could do whatever you want. I can't wait to get that gun that you can shoot around the corners with. Like, you could be in cover and then you just aim the gun.
Welcome to the next
and
generation.
Shoot around the
open
corner.
world
Like,
adventure.
that's fire to
Immerse
me.
yourself in Cyberpunk 2077.
Number 10. Geo. Oh, that's where you get the keys and stuff from GOG, because they said it like hearing it and then seeing the logos, two different things. But yeah, so anywho, that was the episode 5. This is gonna be the last episode before the game drops on December 10th. Hopefully, it doesn't get pushed back again. Again, like I've been saying the whole time, I'm excited for this game. I'll be getting it. I'll probably stream it right away. If not, if I don't stream it, I'll upload gameplay to this YouTube channel, and yeah, I can't wait for it to come out. I have nothing bad to say about the game. A lot of people have been negative and been whining and complaining, but at the end of the day, I know y'all gonna buy it, just like y'all buy every other game that comes out, so there's no need to complain. But it's another conversation. But anywho, you already know the vibes. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. This has been your boy Justice Falls, and we out.